guys, so today we're working on the Razor. We're going to be putting a flush mount into the headlight. So we're going to make your headlights go looking like that. So the reason I decided to do that is one, they're a lot brighter, and two, it just gives it a cooler looking design and makes you a little bit more unique when you're out there with everybody else. People are going to kind of look at your design and say, wow, that's really cool, you did that yourself. So anywho, it's super easy, and I'm going to show you guys how to actually do it step by step so people can get some ideas or figure out what they want to do. Basically the plan is we're going to cut out the main factory headlight straight into it. We're going to attach it into the plug so the actual headlight will still be sealed up, so you won't have to worry about getting water in there. I know Solitude Customs, he's also done this. You can find him here on YouTube, and I know that he drilled a couple holes in the very bottom of his factory headlight. I think he is somewhere down south. You guys do a lot more in the swamps, in the water. Over here in Nevada, we're mostly dunes and trails, so really no sense for me to do that. I prefer the sealed, and that way I don't have to worry about getting water in there or anything locking up in there. So anyways, we're going to do a little tutorial on how to do it, cut that, and then I probably won't do it in this video, but eventually on the back side of the headlight there's a screw that actually holds in your headlight. We're basically going to bevel that out, and that's going to essentially allow you to make these adjustable, because as is they do kind of point up just a little bit, not by much, but if somebody's riding in tighter quarters and not like an open area, it might be an issue. So we're going to also do that, and I might make a separate video for that. So anyways, stay tuned, and we'll get this all going together. Alrighty guys, so the first part, and I've already done a couple parts. I actually went to go record, and for some reason my camera was messing up. So anyways, you're going to want to take some degreaser and spray this headlight down, wipe it down, dry it off, because eventually you're going to be painting this actual lens. Whether you want to do black, red to match your body, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Another thing that I've seen that I might do eventually down the road is a lot of people take these actual headlights, take these flush mount lights, you can pull that flush mount off and you can paint this outside, and so you can make you kind of have a black and you could do like your body color. So for instance here we could do red around this, and it would look really good because then this would be black just like the other side. So anyways, I got this light off of Amazon for about 20 bucks. If you guys can see, and bear with me on this, back here it's one size, and then it kind of comes up and tapers into like a bigger size. So essentially what you're going to do, and I'd already done this part, is you're going to line this light up where you want it. And a lot of people can put them down here, you can put them out further. I like mine dead smack in the middle. It looks good, and it's going to be easy to match it up on the other side. If you guys can see, there's kind of this little nook right here, and I want my LEDs to actually line right up to that. So I kind of lined it up, and I grabbed my Sharpie, I went on the back side and just marked it up of where it's going to be. So now that we've done that, we're going to, I'm not going to bore you to death by watching me Dremel this thing out, but we're going to basically take this Dremel, it just has a little cutting disc on it, and we're just going to cut that out. Like I said, this part, you're going to end up making this square bigger because this light is bigger. So this is more of just a, looking at it to give you an idea of where your hole needs to be and how big it needs to be. So anyways, and this is just the particular light I have. You guys might have a light that doesn't have that, and it'd be a little bit easier. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and Dremel this out, and we'll move on to the next part. Alrighty guys, so we got everything Dremeled out. I guess some tips that I have. Let me get the camera here. So there's the hole, as you can see. You're going to want to take that backlight out, just get it out of there. But I don't know if you can really see that, but that's the square, and it probably goes about, give or take, another ½ inch, quarter inch somewhere in between there, of grinding it out. So basically you're just going to get in there, make that square, and then just start working your way. You're really going to come up here all the way up onto the edge of the headlight itself, towards the top and the bottom. No matter what, you're going to, I mean, you can see how close that is. So anyways, once you get it in there, you obviously don't want it to just slide in really easy, but you're definitely going to be doing a lot more cutting on the bottom and the top. The sides, you know, you're going to have to cut a little bit more, but not by much. So the biggest thing that I would say is don't cut too much on the sides, because that's where your holes are going to go for your self-tapping screws to, you know, hook the light into. So you don't want to go too far on the sides, but the top and the bottom you're definitely going to have to do some work on. So you know, and when you're doing this, you're going to catch all this, you know, little plastic stuff from the grinder, and you can just take a box cutter and just clean it up a little bit. A lot of it just pulls right back off. Like I've been pulling some of this stuff off, and once you get it all pulled off, take a shop vac, you know, vacuum all that stuff out, and then from there you can paint this backdrop and you know, let it start drying so that you can hook up the actual lights and into the connector and get things rolling. So anyways, I'm gonna paint this, and then I'll be back with you guys on the light part and how to actually wire it in to the connector so that this hole in the back is actually filled up and not just open. So alright guys, we painted that lens. The best way I thought about this is I just took the top off of a nail and kind of put it right there. Just put it in there so that way it's not all inside of there. I know it really doesn't much matter because you've kind of destroyed the headlight anyways, but you know, I just don't want a bunch of gunk up in there, and you know, sometimes this rhino line stuff can deteriorate, and you just don't want it on the back side of your light. So I just kept it simple and made sure it just got on the face. So anyways, we're gonna move on to the next part of actually doing the plug. So alright guys, so kind of bear with me here. That's kind of a tight spot, but if you guys can see, the factory light right here, and you'll see it when you pull it off, has kind of two prongs. I don't know if you can really quite see that. Let me try to get some light on it. So you can see it's kind of got two prongs. So what we're essentially going to do is we're just going to cut those two prongs. All it's held on is by a little soldered onto the light. And this is the actual light that goes into the plug, if that makes sense at all. So obviously have your key off, don't have the lights on, don't even have the switch on. You know, be somewhat smart about it. But you're just going to cut that light off, right? So now that we got that light off, we just have two prongs. So what I like to do is just kind of put one prong one way and one prong the other way. That way it's just kind of easy and simple. So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to get our connectors. So we just took simple little, you know, regular old electric connectors, and those things will slip right over the top of those prongs. And what I did for precautionary to make sure that they weren't arcing out on each other, I just wrapped some electrical tape around the metal ends of it when it's all wired in, and it worked just perfect. So anyways, that's another tip that I got for you is, you know, wrap those up so you know you don't have anything arcing out. So I'm going to go ahead and get these connected to the light, and then I'll be back with you guys. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to hook up these connectors. So on that factory bulb, they're soldered on there, right? So these are just a little bit too small. So just take a little flathead screwdriver in there and just kind of get in behind it and just lift it ever so lightly. You don't want to overdo it to where it's sitting on there loosely, but you want it to be on there confidently that it's going to stay on there for a while. And then you can even take your needle nose if you want to, and you know, pinch those a little bit, and you know, kind of, they're small prongs on there, so don't go too big on them. I mean, this is what I have. So I just did this. I like to get them on there, and then once I get them on there, I can even crimp them down a little bit more, just to make sure that they're going to be on there, to give me a peace of mind that I'm not going to be on some trail somewhere and one of my headlights is going to give out, or even both at the same time. So anyways, we're going to do that, and like I said earlier, once we get this connected to our actual lights off of our flush mount, we're just going to slip them onto those prongs, and we'll just connect the back, and it'll be a sealed light. So let me do that real quick, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so now we can actually start wiring this in. So you're just going to try and feed those connectors in through the back side. Sorry. Just in through the back side. Get your wire up in through there, and then once you get in there, the one big thing is this actual light is behind this fascia, and so typically that top part right there will just kind of jam up. So if you just go like that, it just kind of lifts it up. I don't know if you saw that, but I went in through the top with a screwdriver and just popped it up underneath the fascia. So anyways, that's how you're going to do that. And then typically what I like to do at this point is actually go over, turn your key, turn your headlights on. So you now have power going to your connector, because you're going to have to figure out which one is your positive, which one's your negative. So you just slide those connectors over the top, and be gentle with them at first, because you don't want to overdo it or anything like that. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's just how the wires are. They're just like that. And it so happened that I was right the first time. So anyways, you guys can see how bright those are just up against the wall. But so anyways, I'm going to get these mounted up, and then I'll probably take my razor outside and actually show you the pattern that it's throwing up. So I forgot to mention in the last clip, so you just shove that wire back up into that housing. It's not going to hurt anything, and you just put that connector right back in, so it's all sealed up. You don't have to worry about water getting in through there, and it should be tight enough on the front. It's going to get all that water out of there, and you're really not going to have to worry about it. So anyways, on to the next part, right before we actually take it out. So I have 1/16 drill bit. You're going to want to just do your 4 pilot holes. This light has 4 holes on it. Some of them have 2. Just depends on the light that you get. Like I said, this is the particular light I got from Amazon. I know there's going to be people out there that are going to want the high dollar lights. In my opinion, a light is a light. It's really upon how you treat them. And if you're banging them up on a bunch of things, sure, go with the more expensive. But I'm just going to take these little self-tappers after I put those pilot holes, put them in, and it'll suck it right up against that housing, and it'll be good to go. So anyways, here's a little bit of a last kind of view that you can see of the lights. And I think they look awesome. I think it changes the entire look of the front end, and it really looks unique. So anyways, I'll get out there and I'll show you guys the light pattern.